So I'm Patrick O'Rourke from MobileSyrup, and this phone right here, this is the Galaxy S8 Plus, Samsung's shot at redemption following the Note 7. So we're gonna take a look at it today and see if they're able to get it done. Samsung has a lot riding on the release of the S8 and the S8 Plus, following the disaster the Note 7 evolved into for the company. Good news though, while the S8 isn't a massive step over the S7, it's definitely a worthy upgrade, in part due to its infinity display. Visually, I'd say that the S8 resembles the Note 7 in many ways, adopting the phone's slightly less curved edges, but the S8 also stays the course with the design direction Samsung moved to with the S7 over the S6. While the S8 screen doesn't exactly extend to infinity like Samsung claims, it does have minimal bezels and a unique rounded 18:5:9 aspect ratio that I think looks great, though some people are not that fond of it. If you've already seen the LG G6's display, you'll have a good idea of what the S8 screen looks like. In fact, Samsung's latest smartphone offering shares a lot of design similarities with the G6, including the fact that its unique aspect ratio, though different than LG's, makes the S8 taller than other devices currently on the market, resulting in its 5.8-inch S8 and 6.2-inch S8 Plus display not feeling as large as you might expect them to be when you're holding them in your hand. It's worth noting that there aren't many apps that have been optimized to fit this unique screen yet, but that's bound to change quickly given how synonymous Samsung is with Android devices. As an interesting side note, it's actually possible to change the S8's resolution in the phone's setting menu, shifting it from 1480 by 720 pixels to 2020 by 1080 pixels, and finally even 2960 by 1440 pixels. I wish this was an option more Android manufacturers added to their devices because it's a great tool for saving battery life. Under the hood of the S8 is Qualcomm's latest processor, the Snapdragon 835, again giving the phone an advantage over the G6 in the power department, which only rocks a Snapdragon 821. Sure, most people probably won't notice the difference, but those who care about benchmarks will definitely want to take note of this. The S8 also features 4 gigs of RAM, a 3000 mAh battery in the S8, and a 3500 mAh battery in the S8 Plus, and of course, Android 7.0. Here's hoping Samsung is quicker with Android updates this time around, though I don't expect that to change. All in, the S8 is an incredibly powerful, good-looking phone. Whether I was playing games like Clash of Clans or desert golfing, which admittedly isn't very resource intensive, browsing the internet, sending emails, or watching HD videos, I didn't run into a single instance of lag during my little over a week with the device. This may change as I use the phone more, but power-wise, my impressions of the S8 are resoundingly positive. Speaking of video, videos are displayed either in letterbox mode or cropped to extend to the S8's rounded corners. Accessing the setting is easy and can be done at any time while a video is playing, though it sometimes can be a little awkward when YouTube's control overlay is visible. Oh, and the S8's display is also HDR compatible. So one of the most significant issues with the S8's design is the fact that the fingerprint scanner is on the rear. And the rumor is that's because Samsung was trying to get a contextual on-screen fingerprint sensor to work and they weren't able to do that. So in its place we have iris scanning, which works just about as good as it did on the Note 7. And we also have facial recognition, which I prefer. But those that are concerned about security will probably still want to stick with the fingerprint sensor. And it's really, really awkward to access because you sort of have to claw your finger around it to get to it. Even though the S8's home button is now contextual and on screen in a way that's similar to what other Android manufacturers are doing right now, it's very responsive and the haptic feedback feels similar to the vibrating home button featured in Apple's iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus. Camera-wise, the S8 is a bit of a disappointment depending on what you expected from Samsung's flagship this year. The phone features the same rear-facing f1.7 12-megapixel sensor as last year, though the company says it's made some changes behind the scenes in terms of image processing to ensure the phone snaps better photos. The camera is great and features solid low-light performance, though images I shot with the S8 look nearly identical to the S7, at least as far as I could tell. On the other side of the S8, the phone's front-facing camera has been upgraded to f1.7 and 8 megapixels and performs better under low light when compared to last year's 5 megapixel shooter featured in the S7. It also features autofocus, which is a rarity when it comes to smartphone selfie cameras. Now we have Bixby, the S8's most disappointing but probably most heavily touted feature, at least as far as Samsung's concerned. Bixby Vision gives you the ability to scan objects when you snap a photo of them, giving you a link to where to purchase the item, as well as the ability to search for similar images. While Bixby Vision worked with some objects I pointed the S8's camera at, it was hit or miss in terms of reliability, often coming up with 0 results. I am, however, fond of Bixby Home. It displays news, steps, your heart rate, suggested YouTube videos, and a variety of other content in a more customizable fashion than Google Now. Bixby Voice, on the other hand, isn't coming until later in 2017, as Samsung has delayed the voice-activated assistant for reasons the company still hasn't revealed. So as of right now, Bixby is an interesting experiment, and it's fascinating to see an Android manufacturer delve into the voice-activated assistant game, but it definitely doesn't live up to Samsung's lofty claims. Samsung's Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus, regardless of which device you choose, are some of the best Android devices ever released and worthy successors to last year's S7 and S7 Edge. However, if you were hoping for a massive leap in design and features, you'll be disappointed with Samsung's latest offering. In most ways, the S8 is a refinement of the design aesthetic Samsung adopted with the S7, but with that said, still a very, very good looking one. So that's it. That's my review of the Galaxy S8. Thanks a lot for watching. It's a great phone, but it has a few drawbacks, but still, all in, it's one of the best Android phones that you can buy right now. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and as always, smash that like button.